that we all do is really connected to that. And when I first got my job at UEN 15 years ago, my husband was like, "Did you read the job description?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, it said educational technology, and I don't think you know how to turn on the computer." And with that, I said, "Well, for the past, 15 years, I've been helping teachers learn how to be teachers. And I feel like it's an innate calling, and anybody can learn technology. So the fact that I am giving you this presentation on Zoom with a little interactive uh, tidbits is kind of phenomenal. And I really do believe that um, it's a calling and teaching is innate. Um, and I have two kids, and I wanted to kind of give you a little bit of history about my work with the Utah Afterschool Network. Um, Before Kelly, your fearless leader, I think Annalise Segura was two directors maybe before Kelly. But in 2008, I had, an 8-year-old child and a little one as well. And I remember going to the first Lights On After School. I don't know if anybody has been around long enough for that, but there was a nationwide event, and I'm sitting at this event, kind of, my job is people to people, so I'm making conversation with Annalie, and I can't remember what school we were at, but I was so jealous. I said, "I just wish there was after school at my kid's school. I feel like I'm the only working mom in my whole neighborhood, and we're the only." It's so weird that, in Arizona, that I just moved from Arizona, and everybody's a two parent working household. And I just find it odd that um, 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 my kids don't have the opportunity to take advantage of after school. And she said, "Well, yeah, they don't have it at my kids' school either. Where do you live?" And I said, "Oh, East Sandy." And she said, "So do we." Our daughters were best friends in the same fourth grade class at Quail Hollow. It was the funniest thing. And I always joke that Kevin Bacon has nothing on me, because wherever I go, I meet people who know people. And it's one of my favorite after school network stories. And then Annalie and I became good friends, um, and I got to get more involved with Utah After School Network. And slowly but surely, some pretty expensive, which were fine. I was happy to pay for them, but some after school programs came to my kids' school, but it's still pretty lame. So anyway, long story to tell you how much in awe I am of you, and happy I am to share some of UEN's resources, and how proud I am to work for UEN and all that it does. So, your traditional after school was for that person to person piece that we're all missing and craving. And now, kind of what we're looking at is in the current after school, I don't even know how people are managing, but how are we engaging in the online world? And so hopefully UEN can offer some help with that. Uh, and I am going to go to uen.org and show you. So hopefully you're all seeing, thumbs up if you're seeing UEN, the website. Yay, it worked. And in the big, you'll always see our highlights. And I'm going to talk about our most valuable one, well, the most valuable one for you all, the Learn at Home. But we're going to go more into detail with that in a little bit. But I wanted to just make sure that you're all aware of our news. That's right here. It changes daily. All sorts of great things that you can find out from UEN. The fact that we just partner with SpyHop is here, and it's highlighted. If kids need to find some Wi-Fi hotspots, there's a news article about that. We have these great podcasts for education. that USBE helps us with, and that's at the homeroom. So you can find podcasts to help you with professional development, and then just information about some of the, we don't do a lot of programming like PBS, but we do a few, and we did this art connection piece with the Utah Museum of Fine Arts, so you can check out that. And a little plug and reminder that UEN is not only online resources, but we also have 3 television stations, and UEN TV, channel 9.1, and during the day it's all educational. Well, all of our content is all educational, but during the day we have content that is really K-12 relevant, maybe K-8 relevant during the day. And then we also have Native American programming 24/7 on FNX, which is 9.3 for over the air, and then Comcast carries that. And I'll show you where you can find out more if, for Comcast channels. I think it's 387 for FNX, and NHK World Japan is all in English, but it gives more of a world view with an Asian tint or leaning focus, and it's just high quality programming that we are really proud to bring for families that don't have the internet. This is all over the air, so if you don't have cable, you can still access high quality television, and that may be the case for many of the kids out there. So we just like to make sure everybody's aware. And recently we just launched, so one of the important things that not only Utah Afterschool Network, but all of our teachers and folks in education need to really connect with politics and our legislators. And a way to do that is on channel 9.2 during the emergency session, UEN broadcast all of the legislative session from our TV. So if you're working with high school kids, that maybe that's some civics and our own modeling for some civics programming to watch on 9.2. And I think we're going to carry that more often. So C-SPAN Utah style on channel 9.2. Okay, so the meat where I really want to show you, if you just scroll over, hover, that was the word I was looking for, hover, you can see all of these gazillion resources in on our banner. But we're really going to focus today on the PreK12 education. And you can see we have essentials for teachers, general resources, and resources by subject. I'm actually going to start over here with essentials for teachers, because this toolbox will cover everything to the right. So click on the toolbox and it takes you to what I think, and really what UEN thinks, are the most important resources UEN has to offer. So e-media, which I'm not going to go into too much detail right now, but we have thousands, so over 16,000 resources of digital content. So like videos, whatever video, I swear, whatever subject you're covering, it's there in e-media. And high quality content, already vetted, so you're not pulling YouTube, and a lot of schools don't even allow access to YouTube. So you can always find something, and I'll show you how to access Premedia. Professional development TV is, like I was showing you with this homeroom podcast, we also have professional development at the push of a button with our PD TV. Utah's online library, which is a collaboration. There's a word I'm going to pull out of my brain in a minute, but where all of the districts, they all collaborate and pay for these resources that will go over into consortium. That is the word. It's a consortium of resources for teachers and students, where like I'll show you in a minute, but the encyclopedia that you would have to pay for access, is free to all of Utah students because already the districts have joined, and every student and family have access to that. So it's something you can show for students at home. You can do it when we're back to normal in the classroom or in the after school arena. There's lesson plans. Holly was telling me that she used the lesson plans, and I'll just quickly, so I'm gonna dive a little deeper into the other ones, but like lesson plans for whatever you need. So if you're looking for elementary science at home even, they're all right here and easily accessible. So I love just the first one, the 5 senses walking, easy to adapt to the home environment, where it gives you the whole background, the summary, what materials you need. So kids can, you know, the outcomes if you have to be accountable in some way. But, and then there's this attachment right here. And UEN is full of all of this, just like super easy, boom. Here is this sheet that you can attach and have kids walk around the house using their 5 senses. Well, there's 4 senses here. And, you know, drawing or coloring or, you know, whatever. I'm not going to spend too much time with that, but it's all right here at the click of a fingers. And so that's just in the lesson plans, and you know, you can see how many are here. Whatever grade, whatever subject, we have lesson plans. I will admit they haven't been updated, but it's fun to just get a quick idea and then go from there. And that's kind of that innate thing that I try to tell my husband, is that you have to be able to adapt, and you know, every kid is different, every teacher is different, every situation is different, and so and you're all professionals, you understand that. Resources by subject, it's the same thing. I'll show you that in a minute. You can visit that whole professional development area, and teachers can get relicensure points. I'm happy to partner with UAN, and because we're partnering with workforce development, with DWS, and we're going to offer some classes where they can just download, like Holly said at the end, where you can get credits. So we are happy to maybe adapt some of that for after school professionals as well. And some of the rest of these are
Lisa,
yes.
a quick question.
Sure.
On that professional development, besides partnering with UAN, would you partner with individual after school programs, and are you doing that with no cost, at no cost?
Well, that's a really good question, and thanks. It depends. So probably if the program was tied with a school to use their Canvas license, or UEN could just do different, we would have to talk about it, but like school leadership, professional development, where we would do like a quiz, kind of like you're doing here. I see that you're using what's the platform, Holly, that you guys are using? Not
Zoom?
WebEx. No,
Oh.
for the credits. That big company. Anyway, we can figure it out through on an individual basis, or like with Kelly, I could work with Kelly to maybe figure something out.
Okay, and we would have our district get a hold of you?
Yeah, or you could get a hold of me and I can figure out
Okay, thank you.
that way. But I really encourage you to explore all that we have on there, and we could just figure out, and everything we do is for no cost, so I'm sure we could make it happen. But a lot of the times we work with USBE, and but we can also have one of our professional development professionals, UEN staff, come and do a presentation Usually I've been coming to UAN because my job is more community and they're more directly involved with districts. But we can request somebody from UEN for a specific topic to come and do a presentation and a training and figure all the licensing, not the licensing, but the credits after. Because I'm not quite familiar with all of yours, but I'm happy to see that. Well, and I understand that some of the grants require professional development hours and such, and I do think UEN would be a great place for all of that. So smart tools, Cactus, that's for the teachers, but also the suicide prevention training is here. If you're not familiar with Canvas and maybe right now some of your after school kids are really struggling, you can go right here to the toolbox and into this Canvas, and it has, if you scroll to the bottom, ways to teach. It has ideas, but also some of the UEN courses. We saw it here earlier. Those are the license and rights. Utah's online library, mini lessons for Canvas, Canvas professional development, all of this UEN provided resources for Canvas so you could help your students use Canvas, and you can learn how to use Canvas better too. And I must admit, I'm not an expert yet. It's really cool, but I definitely, before I would feel comfortable, I'd need to go here. But I do know that that's a big issue with students right now and parents, and I'm sure for after school providers too, if you need a little help understanding Canvas to help students that's there. NetSafe Utah, I don't know if you have been here in the past, but this, is an underutilized resource that I think is phenomenal. We have videos, lots of videos that are short, but what is the internet for your K-12 or for your K through 2 folks in all these different languages, protecting personal information. And then we have, as we get older, cyberbullying, and again, personal information at a higher level, and talking about adults you can trust. And even then, in the junior high ones, one that I had to show my daughter was, why you don't take pictures in the dressing room. Things like that, these are a little bit older, but they're still so important with our teens, and now more than ever, just to show some fun little engaging items that all right here in our UEN toolbox, our teacher toolbox. So NetSafe Utah, student interactives, those are just some high quality games. We are working right now, we got caught off guard, but there's homework help and the Utah's online library, which I'm gonna show you more. But my frustration with some of these are that it's kind of some of the games you can see here. This is more for older students, but some of the games, oh, I went too far. I'm just gonna go back here, are Flash based, and I'm a Mac user and that just drives me crazy. So I'm not gonna really dive deep into that unless people want to see more of that. I'm gonna get right back to the Utah's online library in a minute. And Utah Futures, if you're working with older students, hopefully they have a Utah Futures account, and there's so much career guidance and exploring degrees and test prep, and this is all of the stuff that's available here in Utah Futures for that junior high on up. How much you can earn with the reality check. That might be a really fun, engaging after school project to, like, okay, I want to be a computer scientist, and reality check is a fun little game that you can see in Utah how much, or you can decide where and how much you will need to make, and if you want a 2-bedroom house, if you want a 6-bedroom house. All of these things are really engaging and require some time to take a deeper dive, but the kids will take you there too. So just before we go on to our activity, take a look at Utah's online library. And again, this is that consortium. And because there is paid content on there, it requires a login. And so I'm going to log in. It's always online is the login. And every August, this password changes. Every librarian should know it. Right now, it is school. And I'm just going to double check that I'm, because all of you are looking over my shoulder. So the technology never works when that's happening. So this is a collection of all of our paid resources, which are phenomenal. Whether you're working with elementary school kids, middle school kids, EBSCO is research. You can dive in there and pull up so novels, and this just makes me happy. The Funk and Wagnall's new encyclopedia, where normally, you'd have to pay to get all these resources. You can get the full text, and I want to learn about bears, and it's going to pull up, oh, I have to push search, all sorts of resources, maybe. I think I might have a few too many things open. So we're going to not do that. I'm going to go to one that's not so in depth, like Gale. I might have a tad too many. There we go. So, whatever subject, let's see. So we were talking about bears. We can go to animals. We can go to mammals and just do a deeper dive on my choose a category. But I'm not going to spend too much time here. You all can play, and my computer is being slow. But you can see that all sorts of things here that are paid for, English and in Spanish, the Encyclopedia World Book, and then Utah resources, access to all of the newspapers, Utah Futures again, and then all of these other resources like access to all of the Library of Congress resources. NetSafe is here, again, Thinkfinity, and then I'm going to quickly show you the PreK Pioneer website because I'm in charge of it. So I'm super proud of it. And it's kind of a forgotten resource that I think has great things for after school folks. Even though it's called PreK Pioneer, it really is a pre-K to second grade resource. So there's pre-media, which is free to all families. So we saw e-media earlier. Pre-media has like every Daniel Tiger episode, and it does have the same sort of online password, but mine never changes. So to log into pre-media, it's not volunteer. It's always pre-media, and then learn, Learn, and numeral 1, and that will never change. But it has over 350 early childhood resources, including, and of course there's an error because you're all looking over my shoulder. But the resources there, like I just said, every Daniel Tiger episode, lots of great videos that are, again, all learning, all vetted, pre-approved. And then we have parent and caregiver resources. Parents and caregivers can quickly have the the Write by Text and Vroom apps. And then it's a library, so there's so much here. And I'm just doing a quick overview. For early childhood professionals, we have a whole professional development page. And I'm so excited that early childhood standards are going to be redone. These are incredible courses, and this is what I'm working on with DWS, is this Cultivate Learning and Circle Time magazine and Meaningful Makeover are programs where we are going to probably change to right here, where you can take a Canvas course quiz after watching these and get an early childhood from DWS certificate of participation so that they can get some more points for their professional development, whatever that's called, their points for pay raises and things like that. But there's so much on here. I just really encourage you to spend some time here. And the same thing with preschool activity calendars. These, every time I show these to a librarian, I swear they all get out their pom-poms and cheer, because these are by every single month, lots of different calendars of activities, and not just preschool, again, like early childhood, pre-K to second grade. But I think these are also great for after school, because who knew that April was National Frog Month? And if you just click, I call this my most favorite clicking site, but if you click on frog on this site, it will take you to, there's coloring pages, there's crafts, all sorts of different things. And I always joke that my daughter went to like the teacher must have had how to make every single holiday craft activity out of a Dixie paper plate, because we have frogs, we have Abraham Lincoln, we have Santa, the Easter Bunny, everything out of a paper plate. But all sorts of great stuff that it just goes on and on and on. And so I got to kind of see how I'm doing on time. We are needing to jump out of here and start our activity to take a little deeper dive to find out what I can show you that you guys need. So I'm going to share my Jamboard, and in the chat room, if you see at the top, the very first chat, copy and paste into a new browser that link, and then you should pull this site up. And over on the left-hand side, once you're in the Jamboard, you should see a menu. It's kind of in an oval. And there's one that looks like a sticky note over here on the left. And if you will click that and kind of help with, I've put some color coding on. If you have some questions, just so I can quickly, and some goals for you in these different areas, if you will click on and fill out a sticky note, and once you hit save, it should post on here. And it'll be our experiment in my technical skills. To see kind of how we can take a deeper dive into some of the resources together, so that I'm not just one way spewing. Oh, yay. That's funny, they're all showing up in the same spot. And you don't need to just do one, do 5. So I'm not sure how many people are on. I saw this in a meeting too. Oops. Okay, art. Cool. Okay, very exciting. Um, so I'm gonna just give it another minute or so. Um, okay. Great stuff, you guys. Thank you. Um, so I'm going to tell you that this Jamboard thing, um, I saw it in a meeting too, and it's it's in Google, and I learned about it on from the meeting, and then I just searched up Jamboard. Um, ooh, team building. That's a good one. Uh, I learned about Jamboard just doing YouTube videos, and I practiced with a colleague and my son. But I love this. So let's see if I can. Um, okay, do a little. Okay, so you should see my split screen here. Oops, I wanted to do it the other way so that we can still look at the what you've all said, and then I can show you where on UEN we can go. So I need my little glasses, but let's go to science first and how to make STEM, tips for making STEM. I can make it bigger. Um, Tips for how to run engaging STEM activities virtually. It's been difficult competing with video games. I could go on and on about that for sure, because I have a 14-year-old boy that he's doing his biology, but there could be more. And it's constant battles. So I'm going to go to resources by subject. I'm going to hit science, and I'm going to go to STEM. Maybe click on the right part. And I am going to so videos are always engaging. I'm going to show you a couple of different places that I think, I'm thinking this is a middle school activity, but here's some resources for 3 to 6. But climate science is a hot ticket right now. And we have some really great videos. And, you know, screen time is screen time is screen time. But if it's educational content, um, there are these, again, we've worked with Planet Nutshell to make these incredible resources. So climate and, oh, and you'll notice it says climate science. It doesn't say climate change for a very specific reason. We are calling it climate science. But so the very first one, this is a good middle school resource, and you can just watch these videos. So 2 minutes and 13 seconds. It's you're not going to be able to hear it, but this is a great place to go and get interactive lessons. Assign kids to go through. So which gets to another piece, the multimedia piece. Um, but assign kids to do a treasure hunt through, watch all of these and which one is their favorite, um, and even have them make a video or something. Um, that's just one. Let's go back. And because in the Living Planet Aquarium also has some great videos. And I know that the zoo is doing something too, some videos right now. Um, Science activities from online resources that are free, uh, open educational resources. Something else from UEN that's so fun for Friday nights. We show an awful B movie, like they're they're ridiculous. Um, but kids could watch that and on Friday nights, and then they have a podcast that matches that talks about the real science. So that is a recommendation you can make, you know, while kids and families are at home. Um, they can do that. Science courses and resources. SciTech Now is another online program helping out. Just there's so much. The Smithsonian Science Education Center, Super Science Resources, you know, on and on and on. And that's just in this one weather-related resources. So everything in here can be engaging in STEM and competing with those video games. Uh, so
Lisa,
hopefully,
what tab were you under?
um, under pre-K, uh, pre-K to 12, and then general resources, not general resources, resources by subject.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And so let's see, more team building. We'll talk about that in a minute. What was this yellow? What kind of homework help? Oh, I'm gonna get there. Social studies definitely PD kids will love. So let's talk about homework help and go back to this. Um, we actually have, so for general resources, student interactives, we actually have a whole homework help under general resources. And I think this is definitely geared towards younger grades, but so for general homework help, we can link right to Khan Academy, again, Utah's online library, Hippocampus. I feel like that's a little higher level. Middle school, yeah, that's not so early childhood, but uh, definitely can help parents and students. PSAT prep, again, there's science homework help. All of the, you can get right to NASA, help with chemistry at an early age, biology for kids. Khan Academy does every single subject. And one of the really cool things I'm going to show you about math, because I don't think anybody put math up there, that UEN has done, and again with some of our cool videos, but here's social studies. I'm going to show you the coolest thing for social studies in a minute, in a deeper dive. But so homework help, boom, we already have that right there. These are some games. And let's see, social studies. If you wanted kids to be more engaged with this website, we are going to go back to Utah's online library. And I'm going to show you my favorite. So we're going to go back here to Utah's online library under general resources. And there's many avenues to get to Utah's online library. I'm going to go to the student login again, which is online and school. And I always have to retype it. Culturegrams. This is my most favorite, and I think very accessible for after school. I feel like this is a big gift for you all. So you could do, if you're in a younger, actually anybody could do the whole world edition. There's kids edition, states edition, and then there's a Canadian edition for provinces. But you could do a different country, or you could assign a kid to any country, and they can come up with, I don't know, let's do, I think Suriname, my son had to do something. I didn't even know Suriname existed. Don't tell too many people. But if I'm not a good reader, then I can have this whole information read to me with this little speaker button right here. I can save it, I can add it to a Google Classroom, all this information. There's all different ways to print the map. When it's full screen, you can see all the more information. The official name, it'll play the anthem, there's the flag, there's the capital, and then you can also have a photo gallery, slideshows, interview who are famous people from Suriname. I don't know any of these famous people, but I also didn't know Suriname was a country. So the world, time there, definitions, the currency, and they have teaching activities and curriculum standards, all with every single place on earth. It is so cool. And the culture, the thing that they have recipes. I just feel like you could do this once a week, once a day, have the kids pick one anywhere in the world. And it's super engaging. When my son was studying for the geography bee a few years ago, I just had him listen to every country, all the information, because he was pretty lazy. And, just listening to it's great. So they do have it for younger levels as well. I don't know, but we can just look at the United States. And again, it's just more basic, but quick facts, capitals, and again, they still have the photo gallery and recipes. Anyway, fun, engaging, educational. And the thing about using our resources, no advertisements. So recipes, I just think that's fast family lasagna. Okay. Southern fried chicken maybe is a better one. Anyway, culturegrams right up there in front. One of the deeper dive pieces. We still have a few more minutes. I want to touch hopefully on all of these. Oh, let's see. Love the early childhood. Okay, I'm gonna come. See, I have all of you. I can't read it. Early childhood be more available. Obtain ways to roadblock for that field. I agree. Share widely. Preschool Pioneer online library. Let's see what kind of homework. Oh, we addressed that one. Let's see how more media resources make virtual meetings engaging. And again, the professional development is, we are happy to help with everything. Let's go to art, because I know there was a question about art can be science too. I'm going to show you a couple different things. And hopefully I've addressed most of these. Show my program. Oh, thank you all. So there are some things here for art and NE media, but I'm going to go back and just see what we have, because I know I saw some recently. Under pre-K, under resources by subject, find more. All resources, math, science, am I missing it? So I'm going to come, CTE has a lot of things, language arts. I'm going to add media arts, so miscellaneous. I'm going to show you two things if I can't find anything here specific. So it was Holocaust Awareness Month, I believe. Lots of great information here with Anne Frank teacher workshop and the Holocaust and Genocide education, multimedia resources. There are some cool art things in there. How to use all of these different using photo art, clip art that you can use And then, oh, something that I haven't talked about, and I don't know if you've all gone to PBS Media Learning as well, but lots of great stuff there. Um, hang on, music, rhyme, um, multimedia stuff. Okay, I'm going to, since we, and I haven't really talked about the Learn at Home. I'm gonna go back to our home page, and in Learn at Home, I'm gonna go to Learn More. So for teachers, students, and parents, it's broken up into 3 different things. Let's go to students and resources by subject. And I'm sorry that art isn't specifically there, but there are some cool things to do. And this is that, this is gold right here for all of you. Explore nature with live camera streaming, and then Google Arts and Culture Collection. Um, and we just launched Spy Hop's online workshops art shop, and they have this really cool like puppet making. And again, everybody just had to react so quickly to the, sorry, it's not showing, but to, you know, our how to make a puppet. There's filmmaking, short film workshop, sound effects, simple animation projects. So this is brand new. We're posting it here, but so you don't have to shop all over and just search the web on and on and on. We're hoping to make this one-stop shopping for you all. And if you go back to, and teachers, there's all sorts of stuff here too. So somebody asked about how to engage them. Nearpod. Nearpod has free and licensed, and the schools are all now licensed thanks to UEN. But I highly suggest you visit this webinar and take a class on learning how to use Nearpod, because I was going to try that. If we do another session, maybe one of the UEN folks could get on and teach you all how to use Nearpod. It is so cool. It's now the only way I'm doing presentations. And that is the answer to keeping kids engaged, whether you're in person, like when they've got this phone, make them use it. And I realize that that's, you know, coming from a place of privilege. So, you know, and we have to cover the gamut here, but, you know, if I highly recommend using this self-paced course for learning how to use Nearpod and all of these tutorials. But I didn't talk about the PBS resources, but they are here. They're just amazing as well. I don't know, I probably said amazing like 300 times, but that's how I feel about my work and our website. All sorts of things. Here's a crash course in navigating digital resources. It's just the Smithsonian, whatever you need, we have. And then we also like to say that education is our middle name. So it's got to be educational content, and minimal advertising. I do realize that there are some on some of the links that we go to, but it's very few and far between. So with that, any other questions? Hopefully I touched everybody's.
Lisa, I know that we have one question clarification in the chat for you. Just really wanting to make sure and get your advice on what is the best way to get the password for the library when it changes once a year.
That is your district. Talk to the district librarians. They get the information. The principals get the information. You can also go to UEN and you can go to a comment or email anybody, and that's such a good segue into our next contact me. And remember this learn at home. I just love this little icon. And so my email is lcohne@uen.org. All you have to remember is uen.org. Go to that top row. You can find anything and everything there. And to make sure you get credit for today, I'll share this. And
I put the link in the chat as well. So if anyone wants to just copy paste that link instead of pulling your phone out, feel free to do that.
And I'm going to stop sharing.
And one more question, Lisa. I know the Jamboard that you facilitated with us, that was a free feature on Google that you were.
Yep. And I'm happy to share what I learned because I do have a little inside access to some of our professional development folks who do have open office hours. If you go to PD on uen.org, they're having open office hours on like Tuesdays and Thursdays, and you're absolutely, and I think Google Tools is one of them. And I probably should have done that. But I just made a quick phone call for help because it is so cool. And it is engaging. And it took a lot of practice though. Holly practiced with me and my son practiced with me and he's like, Mom, make it full screen. And then he's like, no, do you need me to come over there and help you? Anyway, but we did it. So hopefully it was good and informative, and however we can help, we're here for you. I feel like UEN has been creating all, we didn't just do this overnight. It's years and years and years. And it's like we were prepared. We've been spending our time making sure that all of our colleagues in the educational world can use what we've been preparing for to make this time easier.
I know that your website is one that I always, with my staff, when we were creating educational lesson plans, no matter what the subject, the teachers who were coming on a field trip would ask us to teach about, I always would encourage my staff to start out on your website, because there's just so many useful links when pulling resources together. So thank you so much for sharing. And I know we only have a couple more minutes, but if anybody else has any more questions for Lisa, I don't know about you guys, but I think I need to sit and digest. There were so many great things that were shown. So Lisa had her contact info up, so I'm sure that people could reach out to you if they end up having a few follow-up questions after the fact. But
so, and I saw in the comments that it was, somebody said Jamboree, but it's called Jamboard on Google, and yes, it's free. All right, well, enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and thanks for spending lunchtime with me. And thanks, Holly, for inviting.
Yeah, this is great. Thank you so much. And hopefully everybody got that link or the QR code. We want to have your feedback as we continue to do these lunchtime sessions. So thank you all, and tune in on Thursday for our next nugget coming up.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye, everybody.
Bye.